Good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now, coming to you from our digital desk. We know that hundreds of thousands, millions of people will be hitting the road very shortly for the holiday weekend into New Year's Eve. A live look into downtown. Some people able to get away a little early. Some people will really be hitting the rush when we get to Friday afternoon, and Friday evening is when we expect the big travel time. But what can you expect as far as gas prices? For that, we're going to bring in petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy. Patrick, how are you, sir? Good to see you again.
Good to be with you as always, Dan.
Let's talk about this. We've really been enjoying, it was a number of weeks, I think 10 plus weeks of price drops. And now all of a sudden you've got maybe some not great news for people who are going to be putting on a ton of miles. What are we looking at?
Well, the not great news is that some of those ultra low prices, the 230s and 240s, are probably going to be heading a little bit north, Dan, but I think it's overall still pretty good news. Now, we are starting to see gas prices cycle that is climbing back up to 299. Keep in mind, a few weeks ago, 299 would have been music to the ears of many travelers, but we did get a little chapter of ultra low prices. We did see the wholesale price of gasoline snap back to reality by jumping about 25 cents a gallon or so in the last week. This is happening after, you mentioned, 13 straight weeks of decline. Gas prices suddenly slamming on the brakes and going back up because of optimistic comments last week from the Federal Reserve, who hinted that interest rate cuts could be coming in 2024. That sent the stock market and oil prices surging, leading to the jump today to 299. In addition, the Red Sea, where Houthis are attacking oil shipments, has also caused the price of oil to go back up. So all of that really leading to a modest increase at the pump. But keep in mind, prices in Cleveland still just about on par with what we saw last year.
So we're about the same. So your advice to people who maybe they have to hit the road Friday, maybe they're hitting the road this weekend, I'm assuming you're going to say go get gas now.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dan. Dust off that Gas Buddy app. Check out those low prices. There are still some stations, especially the wholesale clubs, who keep their prices low even after they go up elsewhere. Some of the wholesale clubs, 247, 249, 245 across areas of Cleveland. So if you can still get it at that lower price, we'll say anything lower than 270 a gallon, I certainly would be filling up. Even those 299s, after stations do go up, those should start to roll back into the week next week. So, you know, we're talking about potentially prices close to $3 or well under it. I certainly would fill up. But if you miss it, do know that prices should start rolling back after they've gone up.
Okay, that's good news. Patrick, we talk about this when it's Thanksgiving travel. Now we're at Christmas travel. Obviously, we're concerned about people in Northeast Ohio that might be headed to the east, to Pennsylvania, to the west, to either Michigan or Illinois or Indiana. Advice for people as far as the states around us. When do you fuel up? Do you fuel up before you leave the state of Ohio? Walk us through that.
Well, basically, if you're heading to any state neighboring Ohio, with the exception of Kentucky, you'll want to fill up before crossing that state line, especially as you head east. Crossing that line into Pennsylvania is going to be like hitting a brick wall. Pennsylvania's gas taxes are much higher. So if you're heading east or west into Indiana or north, fill up. Although I will say that price cycle that's happening today, an oddity, because Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio are all going up to the same $299 price. Typically, Ohio's a little bit lower. So keep that in mind. The exception, again, Kentucky, which is also cycling today, but it is cycling to $289, not $299. So especially if you're heading into Pennsylvania, that's the real danger zone. Anywhere else is going to be more similar to what Ohioans are paying.
Excellent. Patrick, you're always a wealth of information. Gas Buddy is that tool that you said. It's an app. You can get onto Gas Buddy, find the cheapest gas around you. Don't be satisfied with just the closest gas station to you. You could get a couple of blocks, a couple of miles, and find something much cheaper. Patrick, I hope you have a good holiday season, a good new year. You're always a wealth of information for us, so we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us yet again today.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care, sir. All right, there is your holiday forecast. We're seeing a cycle up of prices. Don't be shocked when you see $2.99 gas around the area. But as you just heard from the petroleum analyst with Gas Buddy, that will go back down perhaps next week or into the new year. If we have any other breaking news, it's going to be right here on our digital platforms. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now. Make sure you check us out at 3 o'clock for 3.5 hours of the most up-to-date news and weather. Take care.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.